Hey there, hero. It's David H. Lawrence, the 17th, and you may be aware that a couple of recent events revolving around people who have been labeled as independent contractors by companies, people like companies like Uber and Lyft and DoorDash and other members of the gig economy have caused some real issues. One case going to circuit court and a state Supreme Court called the Dynamex decision. And it prompted a law to be passed here in California and others to be considered similarly in other jurisdictions. Here in California, it's AB 5, Assembly Bill 5. Both the Dynamex decision, which was all about their workers claiming that even though the company called them independent contractors, they were actually employees because they failed a whole bunch of tests with the IRS in terms of independent contractors. There are 20 tests that you have to pass to be an actual independent contractor, things like working for other companies and setting your own rates and doing things on your schedule at your pace for the company. Otherwise, if you're scheduled, if you're working on an hourly basis, if you're not doing these things for other companies, you're considered an employee. But this has been stretched a little bit and played with. Now, what I'm going to talk to you about in this video is a little bit technical, and it's not for everybody because not everybody uses the mechanism that I'm about to share with you, but it has caused some questions and some concerns by the people that do use this mechanism. And the mechanism is called a loan-out corporation or a loan-out company. So let me explain what this is. When, as an actor, and you may know already, but just bear with me so that I can help people who don't understand this. When you're an actor working for a studio or a network or a production company or a commercial production house, you have two options for how you want to get paid, for how you'd like to be paid. Number one, you can be paid as an employee with taxes taken out directly to you personally. So I would get the check made out to David H. Lawrence the 17th. Or you can choose to create a company, a corporation here in California and in New York State, not an LLC, but a corporation, a type C or a type S. That company employs you and you bill the production house for the full gross amount of your pay without taxes taken out, paid to your loan-out company. And then your loan-out company is called a loan-out company because your company, your personal one-man band local company, loans you out to the production entity as a performer. Now, the advantages there is that you're running your own business, and so you have some advantages in terms of deductions and expenses that you can claim on your taxes as a company that you can't claim if you're just getting paid directly, if you're just a person, being paid directly as an individual. So what does it have to do with Dynamex and AB5? Well, if you're going to reclassify somebody from independent contractor to employee, and there's a law that says you have to, well, what happens if you don't want to be reclassified from an independent contractor to an employee of your production partner? You can understand why, at least I try to understand, because there's a part of me that wants to remind people who work in the gig economy that was their choice, that they chose to be an entrepreneur, and maybe it wasn't all it was cracked up to be, but that's not necessarily the fault of the company. Or something that they have to render help with. But that's another video for another day. But you can understand the logic of, hey, we're working our butt off here. We're not getting what we thought we were going to get. We can't afford some of the benefits that employees are getting or employees of the companies that employ us as quote, independent contractors. But in terms of actors, in terms of people who are union actors, people who are getting paid, either scale rates or above scale rates to do the work, I'm not at all interested in being reclassified as an employee because that would take away some of the benefits of being a corporation and having myself loaned out by my corporation to the production. So a lot of people use every A-lister, every celebrity, everybody has a production loan out company. Everybody. When you get down to the working actors that aren't necessarily well-known names, people like me, some of us have loan out companies and some of us don't. But the ones that do were very concerned that AB5 would mean they'd have to give up their loan out company. And the good news that I want to share with you is that the union, SAG-AFTRA, issued a notice recently that said, don't worry about AB5 or the Dynamex decision, and reminded actors that they are employees if they're using a loan out company. They're employees of the loan out company. So they're already employees because you get the gross to your loan out company, but then you have to pay your taxes and do all the things and pay yourself as an employee eventually. So they sent out a note to all the union members saying, look, there's been an awful lot of worry about this. You don't have to worry about it. Our position is, and it's been backed up by lawyers, and we worked very hard with the state legislature and have reviewed, over AB5 and have reviewed the Dynamex decision. And we're very confident that nothing will change for actors and performers and other creative types who use a loan out corporation. So my point here is to sort of ease your mind if you do use a loan out corporation. If you don't, I also wanted to introduce that as a possibility to you. It might be something, you might be at that point in your journey where a loan out corporation makes sense. Don't know. If you have questions about this, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an accountant. I have lawyers and I have accountants. I have a business manager. We've done a lot of discussion on it. I'll answer what I can if you have questions about it, but I might end up saying, I don't know. I'm not well versed in that area. I don't know. But ask your questions below and in the comments box if you're watching on VO Heroes about this, and hopefully we can help you, or I can send you in the direction towards somebody who has more knowledge about it or more expertise about it than I do. But let me know your comments below. Also, let me know if you just don't give a rat about this. If this is like something that's like, for me, it was a goal of mine. I wanted to be working enough that having a loan out corporation made sense. And, thankfully I am. So let me know what your thoughts are. And if you want to join my list, you want to get on the list so you know when these videos are coming out, I would love to have you. There's a box below the comments boxes, below this video that says get on the list. Go ahead and fill that form out and we'll let you know when these videos come out. I'm David H. Lawrence, the 17th. I thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you tomorrow.